them we were thinking about.
I
Yeah.
know a lot of those words are really big
All
words,
right.
Well, they were
especially the
more
one with the
unusual than
double
I'm
cha at
used
the
to.
end.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Jumping right in.
Jumping in.
Okay, so picking up where we left off last time with again our different stories about the whole um, Moses and where he came from and how he got there and his relationship with God. So verse 7 continues that story. And again, you can go back to the previous ones and uh, print out several pages or open up several screens, however you want to do it, and jump from red story to red story and then jump from blue story to
Oh,
blue story. But I'll just point out some of the ways in which this was seen as two separate stories. So, Vayomer Adonai Ra'o Ra'iti et oni ami asher b'Mitzrayim vet sa'akatam shamati mipnei nog sav ki yadati et mach'ovav. So Vayomer Adonai. So this is again the Yud Hey Vav Hey, the Y story saying Ra'o Ra'iti. And again, this is that double verb form where we have an infinitive form and then some kind of actual tense form. So Ra'oti in seeing, Ra'iti I have seen, literally, often usually translated as I have surely seen,
mm-hmm.
which goes back to that whole issue of where was God looking before that. But I have really seen, surely I have seen, in seeing it, I have seen et oni ami. And oni is the same word that we use on Passover about the bread of affliction. When we say, hine lachma, halachma anya, hine lechem
Anya.
ha'oni.
Yeah.
This is the bread of, so I have seen the affliction of my people, Asher b'Mitzrayim, that is in Egypt, Vet Sa'akatam, and here the Sa'aka, the crying out, is Sa'akatam, their crying out, so it's plural. I have seen their affliction and their crying out, Shamati, I have heard. So I've seen the affliction and I have heard them crying out. Just on a little side note, uh, often we talk about the 400 years of slavery, the 400 years of oppression, which is a nice story, but it doesn't really seem to bear out because if they've been crying out for 400 years and God finally hears it, that would be a strange story, a strange situation. Plus, when we get to the lineage, we'll find that the generations that are listed from the Joseph and his brothers to the generation in Egypt is three generations.
Oh.
And even if they were there for 400 years, even if the three generations is not literally three generations, the question is, were they in servitude, oppressed in slavery for 400 years? And we go back to, you will recall the story that they're settled, they're going, they're multiplying, things are going well. And then the Pharaoh dies and a new Pharaoh arises, so we don't have a time frame for that. So this particular, I have seen their affliction and I have heard their crying out, would seem to be a contemporaneous to the actual beginning of the oppression. So this is not 400 years of slavery. Maybe it's 400 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
400 days, or 400 hours. We don't know how long they've been crying out, but God says, I have seen their oppression. I have heard their crying out. And then mipnei noksav. And now here, notice the ending is singular, even though I do translate it as there, because it followed from the their crying out. It's actually literally mipnei noksav because of his or its taskmasters.
Oh,
Ki yadati et machovav, and I have known its sorrows. The ka'av is the root for crying, for sorrows. So we switch from their crying out to Ami, my people, as a collective entity. So it's the Mipnei Nogsav because of the taskmasters over my people, singular, and because of their sorrows or his sorrows or the sorrows of my people, singular. So just a note that the Tza'akatam is plural and the Nogsav and the Machovav are singular. His. 8. Va'ered lahatzilo miyad Mitzrayim ulaha'aloto min haaretz hahi el eretz tova urchava el eretz avat chalav udavash el makom haknaani v'hachiti v'haemori v'haprizi v'hachivi v'hayevusi. So big verse 8. Va'ered, literally, I came down, but this is again that Ared is I will come down, Va-Ared, and it will be that I come down, or and it was that I will come down. So some convoluted kind of verb in English, Hebrew just very simply Va-Ared, which becomes the imperfect tense in the past, rather the perfect tense in the future imperfect, but it's done in the past, which would have been the perfect time, the already done. So it's the past imperfect. And I'm doing that coming down, and we have a contrast between the Ared, I come down, and later in the verse, ha'alot, bringing up. So I come down in order to bring them up. So I come down, lahatzilo, and again, singular. Lahatzil is to save. Lahatzilo, to save him. Actually, not to save them. Miyad Mitzrayim, from the hand of Egypt. And again, not the hand of the Mitzrim, the Egyptians, but the hand of Mitzrayim, Egypt. Laha'aloto, again, laha'alo is to bring up. Laha'aloto, to bring him up. Min ha'aretz hahi, again a note, the Torah text is written with a vav, but eretz is a feminine noun in later grammar of Hebrew, so therefore it's punctuated as a feminine pronoun, and ha'aretz hahi, this, that land. El eretz tova urchava, to a land that is good, and a land that is rechava, which is wide. Later in Hebrew, Rachov becomes a street.
Yes.
It's the wide passageway. It's not just a path, it's the wide passage. So a land that is good and wide. El Eretz Zavat Chalav Udavash, the classic term for Israel that later is used, usually translated as a land flowing with milk and honey, but there's no with in there. It's flowing milk and honey. Later, there's going to be a debate over what is the milk and what is the honey, but here God's promise is, or God's statement is, I'm saving them and I'm bringing them up, they're going to a good wide land that is flowing zavat chalav udavash, flowing milk and honey. El makom, to the place of, and now this is the peoples who currently are the inhabitants of this wide and good land flowing with milk and honey. They're the Canaani, the Canaanites, and the Hitti, the Hittites, and the Emori, the Amorites, and the Prizi, the Prizites, and the Chivi, the Hivites, and the Yevusi, the Yebusites. Lots of different people live in this land. All right, sounds good. It's done. And we won't hear anything more about that until next week, way down here in verse 16. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, in our blue story, picking up where that one left off, when God is talking to Moses out of this bush or fire or whatever. V'ata hine tza'akat b'nei Yisrael ba'a elai, v'gam ra'iti et halachatz asher Mitzrayim lochatzim otam. This is, again, a disjointed statement. We've just had, I heard them crying out. I've seen all their problems. I'm going down. I'm saving them. I'm bringing them up. And then God says, by the way, I just heard they're crying. Zeva'ata, and now, hine tza'akat b'nei Yisrael ba'a elai. And now, the crying out of Israel, the sons of Israel, the people of Israel, the Israelites, is coming to me. When put together, we say, oh, now we're getting details from the general statement that was before, but in the original stories, they were complete in and of themselves, leading to great commentaries. So now the crying out of the Israelites is coming to me. V'gam ra'iti, and also I have seen, I saw, at halachatz. Now here, where before it was the taskmasters and the sorrows, now it's the oppression. So different words in the different stories for what was going on down there. And notice the lachatz, that is the oppression, is what the Egyptians have done at the end of the line, lochatzim, same word. So I saw the oppression, asher Mitzrayim lochatzim, that Egypt is oppressing. Again, a note on number. Mitzrayim is a singular. It's a place. It's not Mitzrim. It's a place. It's a singular place, but the lochatzim now is plural. And now the lochatzim is otam, the oppressing of them, again plural. So where Israel was a people, singular in the red, Israel is Israelites, plural, in the blue, but Egypt, which was singular in the red, is now plural in the blue. So our number statements are different between the two. Verse 10, Va'ata lecha ve'eshlachacha el paro v'hotzei et ami v'nei Yisrael mi Mitzrayim. So now Moses, God says, now lecha, go, ve'eshlachacha, and I will send you. Eshlacha, I will send, cha, you at the end. So eshlachacha. I will send you el paro, to Pharaoh, v'hotzei et ami, and bring out et ami, my people, v'nei Yisrael, the sons of Israel, the children of Israel, the Israelites, mi Mitzrayim, from Egypt. 11. Vayomer Moshe el ha'Elohim, Mi anochi ki elech el paro, v'chi otzi et b'nei Yisrael mi Mitzrayim. And Moses says to God, and here again it's El ha-Elohim. So is it, and we had that difficulty in the previous blue when Moses was on the mountain of the gods, Har ha-Elohim. We're not sure if the biblical author meant it to be the gods or God. Later textual creation makes it God, and later commentary makes it God, but we don't know what the original storyteller was thinking. Is Moses still talking to the pantheon? Moses says to God or the gods, Mi anochi, who am I? Ki elech el paro, that I will go to Pharaoh. V'chi otzi et b'nei Yisrael mi Mitzrayim, and for I will bring out the people of Israel, the children of Israel, Israelites from Egypt. And the response is Vayomer ki ehyeh imach v'zeh lecha ha'ot ki anochi shalachticha v'hotziacha et ha'am mimitzrayim ta'avdun et ha'elohim al hahar hazeh. So Vayomer and singular says, Ki ehyeh, for I, singular, will be, imach, with you. But again, from the standpoint of what was the original biblical storyteller intending for the original biblical audience to hear, is this God or is this the spokesperson of God, the chief God, who's speaking on behalf of all the gods? We're not answering that, just more questions than answers, because if you answer that, I'll ask you more questions. Whichever direction you answer it. That's where we get the commentary, midrash, all sorts of great stuff. But we don't know what the original story was intending. But I will be with you. V'zelecha ha'ot, and this will be, and this is to you, this is your ha'ot sign. This is the sign that you will have that God is with you, or the gods are with you. Ki anochi shalachticha, again, singular, for I shalachticha, I sent you. And the I is in the shalachti, I sent, and the I is in the anochi. Thus, it really is for I sent you. Hotziacha, in the bringing out, in your bringing out, hotzi, bring out, hotziacha, you're bringing out, et ha'am, the people, mi Mitzrayim, from Egypt, ta'avdun, that you will serve, et ha'elohim, again, God or the gods, al hahar hazeh, on this mountain. Remember, he's at the mountain of the gods, or the mountain of God. So he says, I'm sending you there for the specific purpose of worshiping me here at this mountain. Whereas in the red story, you're going to be bringing them out, and it's not you, it's me. I will be bringing them out to the wide, good land of flowing with milk and honey, where all these people are already living. So a very different sending message. Next week, 3 weeks from now, no study next week, the Sunday between Christmas and New Year's, and no study Sunday immediately following New Year's. So we'll be back on January 11th to pick up again the blue story. I'm sending you to worship, and this is what you'll be practicing. And then the red story of I'm coming down to save them and bring them up to the land. So different point of view again.
Yeah.
So your practice reading for the next 3 weeks, plenty of time to practice it and polish it up.
Okay.
Go back to the original Chumash and learn the trope for it, whatever you want.
Sure. Put it right on the list.
Right. Vayomer Moshe el ha'Elohim, hine anochi va el bnei Yisrael, va'amarti lahem Elohei avotechem, shalachani aleichem, va'amru li ma shemo, ma omar aleihem. 14. Vayomer Elohim el Moshe, Ehyeh asher ehyeh. Vayomer ko tomar livnei Yisrael, Ehyeh shalachani aleichem. 15. Vayomer od Elohim el Moshe, ko tomar el bnei Yisrael, Adonai Yud-He Vav-He, Elohei Avotechem, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Shalachani Aleichem, Zeh Shemi La'olam v'zeh zichri l'dor dor. So, little bit of a strange thing we'll talk about with the Yud Hey Vav Hey in the middle of the blue text. Verse 16. Lech v'asafta et ziknei Yisrael v'amarta aleihem Yud Hey Vav Hey Adonai Elohei Avotechem Nir'ah Elai Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Notice there's not even a Elohei in the middle of those, just Elohei Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Lemor pakod pakadati etchem vehet ha'asui lachem b'Mitzrayim. So you're practicing for the next 3 weeks.
Oh.